hello, 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 hello. Let's fix this. Hello, 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 hello. How are you doing today? I am doing pretty good. I'm feeling pretty. Sorry, I'm just like really hyper focused on my making sure that the audio is on. Okay, I am doing good. How are you doing? Wait, I already said that right. I'm doing good. You're doing good, right? I'm doing good, but I feel a little bit chaotic today. Because I'm gonna do a little bit of chaotic triggers. That means it's gonna be sounds, it's gonna be visuals, it's gonna be both mouth sounds, hand movements, all the things. Some nail tapping. So I can do that. And I can go like this with you, and I can go like this, and like kind of pinch you like this, like I'm a weird creature thing. I think I've done a video like that before. Anywho, my cat is sleeping over there, so like, let's see if we're so chaotic that we get him to wake up, you know what I'm saying? Also, I really feel like doing this today. It probably isn't making much noise. That's just mainly my hands. My hair is so thin, by the way. Yeah, and speaking of, by the way, whenever I go to the hairdresser, all I do is cut my hair. They always say that, you know, I've heard Head and Shoulders is good for you to do for your hair. I don't really do that anymore, but I don't do like any fancy schmancy kind of stuff. And so the shampoo and conditioner I use is just like generic brand stuff, local store brand stuff. I do that, and I can tell it's not good for my hair, but at the same time, I have an allergic reaction to things that like have scent, so I can't do that. And so I don't do that. I can't, so I don't. Therefore, I don't. If I can, even though I can, but I would have an allergic reaction. You get what I'm saying? People are making noise. All the school children are coming home today. They're coming home today. Well, I mean, like right now. I mean, it's during the week that I'm filming this, so of course they're coming home today. Of course, they would have to come home, right? You would hope, unless like somebody like took them away. That would be really awful. I don't even want to think about that. We're not going to talk about that or think about that or anything, because that is not the vibe. That is not the tea, and that is not okay. That is illegal. But I saw the school bus go by, and it reminded me I'm filming this at around the time when they would come home. Actually, one time not that long ago, I was driving. It was maybe how long ago was it? It was maybe around. It was around. I want to say maybe it was like anywhere between 8 and 10 months ago. I was so kind of a long time ago, but not really. I was driving home, and I was just having to turn the corner to go into the street where my building is. And so I was gonna do that, but the bus stop was there, and the kids went on, and they were staying there for like a couple minutes. I'm like, are they waiting for me to go? And so I went, and then the bus driver honked the horn at me, and I felt bad. And then they left right away. I'm like, the kids were on there for like 2 minutes, so I'm like, but the stop sign thing was still up. I'm like, are they waiting for me to go? I don't know. So I feel really bad about that, but no, nobody got hurt. It's okay. So I get kind of nervous. I actually prefer driving behind a bus or around buses as opposed to even like the city buses, not the just school buses. especially because I also have food sensitivities and I'm a vegan, so I don't know how that would even work anyway. Is my neighbor going to be taking a shower or them doing something? They were actually vacuuming. I was just about to start the video and then they're vacuuming. I'm like, okay, I'll wait. And then they didn't do it for that long, so I wonder if they just like dropped something. Oh, I wonder if they're hanging something up. I've been inside their apartment before. Do you hear that? You gotta be able to hear that, right? Sounds like curtains going like this back and forth in the shower curtains in the bathroom. But that's not where the bathroom is. I've been inside of their apartment before and we had to look after the cats before. And right here's their TV. They don't have anything here except for like the living room area, so I don't know. This is my living room area too. In case you didn't know. Now you know where I am. It's up against the window that overlooks the parking lot. But yeah, right now it's not looking super pretty outside just because like the leaves are not how they are in the early fall and in the summer. Let's try this again. That's good, but some people have thick enough hair that they go like this. Does that sound good or no? Let me know. Actually, I really like that trigger when people do that with the hair because I'm like, what are you doing? My brain's like not computing it. Therefore, it gives me the tingles. I was gonna say something maybe. Oh, but the last time I took like a citywide bus, I was going to visit my mom where she lives right now. And this was before I moved here, like a year-ish, maybe less than a year. A year-ish. Less than a year. because it's situational for me. And so with the colder months, I'm more covered up. I feel more my masculine self, and so I feel a lot more in my they them era right now. But I don't care if people refer to me as she, because I love being a woman. But that also is something that people don't understand, because I say that I'm non-binary, but I'm a non-binary woman. Some people call it a non-binary woman, but more so be a demi-girl or demi-woman. I'm like, I also am demisexual, so I don't want to mix those two. And also, I just like the term non-binary and woman. I feel like that both non-binary and woman and both of them together really click for me. And so I think that I am both, and I know that I am both, and I love that I am both. But some people don't understand that, even people within the LGBTQ+ community. So protect non-binary lives and protect trans lives. That's what I say. Always. For me, growing up in North Dakota, I actually it's interesting because I'm like one of the rare few people where I was surrounded by, my mom was surrounded by, our family was surrounded by, my mom's side we were surrounded by family and friends where people were queer, mainly like a bunch of lesbians, a lot of lesbians. My mom was a lesbian. Love you, Mom. And children, gather your children. They're being loud. Oh, what was I saying? We were a bunch of lesbians, and we were around a bunch of lesbians. And so with being around a bunch of lesbians, I didn't know it was like something people didn't enjoy or like. Like people were not okay with the gays. I didn't know that growing up, because I was surrounded by these people who we loved, who were family friends, and who were family, actual family, before my mom was out as a lesbian and all that too, and before she even knew. I'm not gonna tell her story on here. Okay, so I also didn't realize any of that until I got to like middle school, and people would use that as a slur, like gay. And I'm like, how is that a slur? And then it also, I think, inhibited my ability to really process my it's for people with ADHD type videos. I never try to have a plan, because that's, I feel like the point, not having really much of a plan, just like going with the intrusive thoughts. Oh, do you hear that? About this. It's like your eye blinking. Like these are your eyelashes and this is your eye. It's like this. What about if your eyelash went over your eye but still open? How would that work? What about this? What about that? What about if we go to the side like this and your eye is like, whoa, it's going on a funky little ride. I love snaps. Have you ever been to a slam poetry? I've never been to a slam poetry event. I've never been. I don't know if I would enjoy it. I feel like I would feel like such intense energy and sad.